You're listening to the Super League Pod, coming up on episode 159 of your favourite rugby league podcast. Mark is back from Copenhagen to fill us in on his brief vacation. We've got all your feedback and shout-outs, news from around the world of rugby league. We look back at a relatively uncontentious week of rugby league fixtures in the Super 8s, as well as previewing all next weekend's upcoming action. And no spoilers, there's a quiz. Strap yourselves in, kids. It's time for your favourite rugby league podcast, the Super League Pod. Okay, hello everyone, welcome along to the Super League Pod, episode 159. As opposed to being a day early last week, we're a day late this week again, which has been more the form of recent weeks, hasn't it, with work things and bits and pieces going on for me. We're glad to have you along.
Consistent with a whole FC of podcasting.
Absolutely, yes, we are harshly treated by the man in the middle. But we'll get to that, I'm sure. Tom and Mark here, as always, to walk you through everything rugby league based. We'll be touching on all sorts of stuff. Mark, what's coming up in this week's show?
I'm going to talk about my blog post, amongst many other things, in a lengthy feedback and shout-outs. I've got loads of news. Obviously Tony Smith dominates that, but we can discuss the Championship and League One Player of the Year nominations as well there. Mm-hmm. We've got all the games, all the whinging and moaning that I'm sure will be abound. I'm sure Robert Hicks is far more fucking criminal than Scott Grix, even though, you know, one of the mistakes probably was more costly of a game for the side.
I can't wait. I honestly can't wait.
Honestly, that doesn't fully reflect my view.
Oh no!
But we've got tons, yeah. And then the quiz is based around the Albert Goldthorpe Medal.
Oh, superb!
Because Luke Gale has won it. One of the news articles this week will be confirming that he's sealed that award, that particular award.
Fantastic. Well, before we get into the show proper, the reason we recorded it last week is because you were going away and you were in Copenhagen this week. How was your holiday?
Yeah, well, I was only away for really 2 full days and then like little bits either side that we didn't do much with. But yeah, Copenhagen was wonderful. There was loads of...
Oh, don't. That's an obvious one. It's a song, isn't it?
Was it?
Wonderful, wonderful Copenhagen. Yeah.
Well, they do.
I thought you were doing that on purpose.
Wonderful Copenhagen is like the slogan, yeah. I didn't know it was a song.
Yeah. I'll sing it.
But yeah, the first day, like properly day, we went on a boat trip around the sort of harbour area and the canals that they put in there. That was really cool and informative and nice, and you get to see some old buildings, some new buildings. They've got some really great design stuff over there. We went to the Danish Architecture Centre. We went up a church, basically, that has like a big spirally
walkway up.
What's the word I'm looking for? Spire. Okay. That you kind of go up, and that's sort of from the south side of the harbour. You can then see all of the city from there. Then we went to Tivoli Gardens.
How was that?
That night. That was wonderful, yeah. Emma doesn't do rides.
No.
I'll have to show you the Ferris wheel video that she prevented me from getting many views online before it was taken down. But
you big
I'll show you that in one of our breaks. No, it was...
You're the big bully.
It was entertaining. I got her on one of the roller coasters as well, the basic roller coaster that like the 10-year-old kids were on. And that she didn't enjoy that. She kind of didn't mind the Ferris wheel too much, particularly after going on the roller coaster straight away after. But that was nice. And then we were there sort of for the evening time, so it went dark there. Then we checked out a few bars, because there's a lot of places that basically have breweries in the back room in Copenhagen. It's kind of the standard setup. So we went to a few places like that, and then
how was the local brew?
Well, the beers were nice. It was a range, really, lots of different ranges. We did a similar thing on the second day as well. In that at night, we went round some bars and pubs and stuff. That again, a lot of them were brewing out the back, sort of thing. But yeah, really nice. The beers, good range, pretty much just the same. One of the bars we went in was so Englishly international. It was like you could have been in London, basically, because the beers were similar-ish to the kind of beers you get over here now, more the same pretty much, and the range was the same, and the cost was even more expensive than London, but but like there was just tons and tons of people there, and almost all of them were speaking English,
right?
But with so many different accents.
Yeah.
Like at one point we were sat next to some international students, and one of them was Australian, one of them was from New Zealand, and two of them were Canadians.
Did you do that thing
we were sat with
Australians?
we were sat next to we were sat next to an Australian who was with a German who I wasn't sure who was trying to pull there, but then a load of this German guy's mates rocked up, and amongst them were like people who were Danish and Dutch people, and they were all just talking English, drinking beers. It was really cool. a cool international flavour.
Did you talk rugby league with anyone?
No, I didn't run into anyone who was who I could talk rugby league. The next day, the second day as well, we went to the Danish Design Museum.
Right. The DDM.
They had a lot of different chairs. It was really cool. That sounds sarcastic. It really was. Like some of the stuff that's been designed out there.
Cool chairs.
Just anything's designed. Even just cutlery is so designed out there. It's amazing.
Right.
And then we went up the round tower, which is another sort of go up, see the views kind of place, but that's sort of more centrally located, just at the end of the shopping district, basically in Copenhagen. We checked out some of the palaces and that sort of stuff as we tripped around. But yeah, it was to anyone who hasn't got children or has got a lot of disposable income, I would thoroughly recommend going to Copenhagen.
Right.
It was a great time.
Fair play. Very good. I've been at work. So that's me covered off. Who's been getting in touch?
I also was at my friend.
You did? Yes, that was the pictures from that were brilliant.
On Saturday, and it was a TP wedding. And anyone who follows me on Instagram now that I've decided to start using Instagram,
are you a grammar
pod one? Check out some of the pictures, because like I took one pretty hammered, so there's a slight blur to it, late on at night, and the front end of the TP had like a fire pit type situation that my friend Eddie was in charge of. Eddie used to live with the couple that got married.
Yes.
Hannah and Jen, and then the back end was like a disco, and you can see like all the colours of the disco lights at the top of one end, and like just the light from the flames,
right,
stuff at the other end.
So it's a cool picture, but not any sort of artistic style to it, because it's just happened by accident because you were pissed, or were you trying? I
just thought, I'll go outside and see what it looks like in the dark.
Cool.
But yeah, that was a cool day.
And if people want to follow you on Instagram,
I'd probably just Mark. Is it Mark Gill 1985 actually on Instagram?
I don't know. I don't follow. I don't really do much on Instagram.
No, that's Rob. He knows.
There you go. Yeah, Rob. Yeah, Fat Boy Rob would be able to clue you up. Fair play. Oh, that's wonderful. Well, I had a much quieter week, which doesn't really bear a great deal of laying out there. Just did stuff with Emma and the kids really at the weekend. So that was nice. Went to a trampoline park
again.
We like trampoline park. It was a different one this time. It was better.
Was it
better this time? Yeah.
Where was this one?
This was in Preston. It was a bit more like Ninja Warrior. I'd really want to go.
A Ninja Warrior?
It was more like a Ninja Warrior type thing, yeah. It wasn't just like trampolines on the floor. There was all sorts of...
How far do you think you'd get?
Things to climb. Pretty fucking high, mate. I'm quite big.
On Ninja Warrior?
On Ninja Warrior? Oh, fucking 10, 15 metres in.
I think I'd struggle to do the first jump, so...
It was more Ninja... It wasn't a full Ninja Warrior setup like you see on the telly. It was like, like obstacles that were kind of done in that style.
Okay.
But it was filled to the rafters with little teeny tiny children, so it's not really one for a 17-stone bloke to kind of cannonball his way through with kids just carooming off him. So yeah, I just had a coffee and watched.
Okay.
I hate being a grown up. Anyway, so yeah, that was my week. But tons and tons of feedback this week. Who's been getting in touch?
Well, we're going to start with someone who got in touch with us, but more got in touch with the RFL.
He did.
Dom Hodgson, who completed the third leg of his quarter of charity runs this year, I think, with the Great North Run in a banana suit. Mm-hmm. So check him out. I think we've got this one to tick off as well. rundom.run is the website if you want to donate, and also you get to vote on what he's going to be wearing the next time. And I believe the last one's the Disneyland Paris one, mustn't it?
Must be.
Yeah. So there you go. Anyway, he's done a 3-part open letter to the RFL with some ideas on marketing the game, increasing revenues, and coverage of the sport. So check out the links to all 3 pieces on our Facebook page. That's probably the easiest place to find it. Mm-hmm. So that's facebook.com/Super League Pod, and you'll find the links on there pretty easily. Or at the Hodge on Twitter is where you'll also see the links probably, but he'll have tweeted a ton of stuff.
There you go.
Since then, as well, and yeah, they were pretty good, pretty sensible ideas. Some of the things were touched on when Big Nige was on the Radio Yorkshire show on Monday night, which people could catch on their podcast, RL on RY, I think it is on Twitter. I'd recommend giving that a listen. But yeah, they didn't talk about Dom on it, but some of the things he mentioned were kind of covered, which was interesting to see. So well done, Dom. They were all really well thought out pieces, so I thought it was deserved highlighting. If anyone's not read them and shared them and all that, get around one of your own in the SLP family.
Superb.
Paul Campbell,
an old man of the SLP family.
One of the original legends. He said, regarding the man that can't catch a cold, he was waving at my Megan.
So that's his excuse for Kieran Dixon's continued poor presence under the eyeball.
He sees a Campbell and he goes wave crazy.
He has to go wave crazy. They are then. Well, I would suggest that Megan not be allowed to go to many more games.
Well,
if it's her fault that he's dropping balls.
I wonder if they're going to be up at Widnes, isn't it, at the weekend? They're on Saturday.
They're away,
big game, that one.
Well, yeah.
Anyway, we'll get to that later on.
Yeah.
It is.
But will it? Anyway,
Mark at Wilco2205 said, Roberts is 2 months too old for the Young Player Award, but in any case, I'd be putting Cruz Leeming forward from our squad. Yeah, Cruz Leeming could be a name that people might get votes for, even if he's not on the short list. But it's a conversation to be having.
Yeah, especially ahead of the Sloppies.
We need to start thinking. That's what this is about, Tom. So we need to start.
I know. I was adding context.
I was just about to do that.
Well,
we've
done it now.
We don't plan these things, do we? If we'd have done that, we could have had one of our classic old setups we used to have.
The Super League Pod segue.
Yeah, they were. Well, why don't we have that anymore? It's almost like
because you've decided it's fucking hilarious to interrupt me when I end segments for a kick-off. So that's fucking ruined part of that.
Back to Paul Campbell. He said. And this was about ideas about referees and stuff.
Yeah.
He said, can the RFL not employ ex-players to sit with the video ref to examine the evidence and then make a decision? Surely it's better to take time and get the right decision. Maybe get more experienced players on the board. This is the board where they sit to look about the rules at the end of each season to re-examine the procedures of overturning video ref decisions. On-field referee decisions, sorry. These decisions are costing clubs. The RFL need to look at the review. And all calls should be to confirm upstairs. The ref sends it up and the video ref should make his own call. So that last bit is go back to the old system. That's off 3+ years ago. I flagged with Paul that Chris Campbell and Chris Kendall. Is it Chris Kendall?
Yes.
Campbell and Kendall, anyway. Yeah. Both former players. Kendall didn't get past the academy under sort of 19s level, but Campbell, if I'm right, played in the Championship 1, as the League 1 was then called, in his career. So they are ex-players, but
plus I think if you've got video refs should be equipped to make these decisions. It doesn't need a player to babysit them.
Well, would it be the player babysitting them? Because the player doesn't necessarily know the laws of the game.
Precisely. So I don't think you're necessarily solving any problems by putting ex-players in there. I just think this has all come to a head because of one particular match.
No, this came before.
Oh, did it?
This came before.
Oh, apologies, Paul.
Yeah, that particular match is not why this came up. This came up because of the events that happened in the ridiculous non-overturns.
I see.
Say the Tony Club one, then the Ben Barba one, then the one both way in the London Broncos game.
With you.
And those sorts of situations, more so than... It was more about the try-no-try situation, more so than whether video refs were getting into the games beyond that, which I'm sure will come up in the... I've not read all the reviews, but I'm sure it'll come up. That topic will come up there, so maybe we save that.
Yes, absolutely.
For then. But yeah, so it's good. I think people having ideas and talking about things is good. These ideas then have to be scrutinised and stuff. I've not got a problem with former players becoming part of the refereeing system.
No,
in Australia, in the bunker, one of the key men in the bunker who runs the bunker is Patton, who people from over this country will remember being the fullback Salford for a couple of years at the back end of his career. But I've got no objection with that. I've got no objection with specialist video referees. But what I would say is, it's not giving a player's slant on what's gone on. It's just someone else with a range of experience applying